Hey, it's Kasim with Solutions 8, and today we're going to talk about structured snippets, which honestly are one of those ad extensions that feel superfluous, if I said that right. But then once you start to understand it, you kind of get a sense as to why Google did what they did and what you can do with it and for it. So inside of your ads and extensions, if you look at your extensions listings and click on that little blue bubble, you can come down here to Structured Snippet Extension. Structured snippets feel like call-out extensions, and that's why you may start to feel like this is a little bit redundant, but they're actually they're really important if and when they're applicable. So just as with most extensions, you can add this on the account, campaign, or ad group level. For my newbies, I'd add most of your extensions on the account level. The exception to that is going to be if you have ultra specific product or service offerings. But if you have kind of a more generic or general campaign where, most of your value proposition applies campaign wide, then adding things to the account level is really helpful because it means that every campaign you add, every subsequent campaign you add, and every campaign that you have enabled can draw from those extensions. Now, if you have value propositions that only apply to certain products or services, and you're breaking those up campaign wide, then that's why you'd only want to have these on the campaign or ad group level. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to glaze over that point because I've made it before, but it's just worth mentioning. So we can create new or use our existing extensions. We're going to create new. Now, the header is the reason that this is structured from a snippet standpoint. The header is what is causing the structure. And let me just pull this up real quick so you can see what a structured snippet looks like. I stole this image from webranking.com. So I really like this because it shows you a lot of the extensions, and this is actually an old ad format, but it's still applicable. You can see here are the ratings, here are call out extensions, and then the structured snippets. It's this little featured title header that's making this structured, and then you have all of the values sub feature, and then here site link extensions, which sometimes show a little bit more expanded. So what we're going to do is when you choose your header, it's actually limited. So you can see amenities, brands, courses, degree programs, destinations, hotels, insurance, models, neighborhood, service catalog, shows, styles, types. Types and styles are probably the broadest available categories. And then some of these got really specific. It's interesting to see which industries Google has chosen to cater to. Like they don't have much here. I think it's interesting that they don't have much here that pertains specifically to software, but they're really diving deep with education and hotels, which is fine, and insurance. So choose the header that's most applicable to the values that you want to relay. And so I'm not speaking too cryptically. I found this great article from KO Marketing on examples of structured snippets. So here's one. This is an example for PPE, which is applicable right now, specifically with the COVID scenario. And here we have styles as the header. And then the values are in order: cotton, leather, latex, Kevlar, vibration resistant. So jumping over here, we would say styles. And then we're going to go over here and say cotton, leather, latex. And then you can continue to add values. Google has some best practices here that are worth pointing out. One, make sure that you are selecting the correct header. And the reason you're going to want to do that is because this feels a whole lot like machine learning in action. So what I think is happening is Google's trying to, it's building the infrastructure that allows the mechanism to learn. And structured snippets let Google know what category these values pertain to. And I think what we're going to see is a lot more of this long term. This reminds me a lot of schema markup. We're sort of telling the computer what something is so it starts to learn how to use it. So the header that you're choosing, it's a really important choice here, just to make sure that things are contextually appropriate. And then the values, same thing. Make sure that the values are applicable to the header. The example that Google provides here is Costa Rica as a destination, Wi-Fi is an amenity, and downtown is a neighborhood. And you'll be able to be a little expansive in these, within the confines of reasonable taste, obviously, but make sure that you're being really specific with your header. And then some of the best practices is they say include 4 values per header. I think more than that is probably advisable. And the reason I say that is because when you look at some of the structured snippet examples, you typically see a pretty sizable list, and you want to make sure that you're giving Google every opportunity to choose from as many snippets as is possible. This is also a really It's a solid way to increase the real estate that your ad copy takes up. You're basically getting kind of like a third description in a lot of ways. And what's nice too is this is the way that people read, specifically ad copy. You want to make things that are thumb friendly. People don't actually read paragraphs, they skim. That's why when I'm writing descriptions, I tend to do so in little bullets. Well, structured snippets are pre-structured little bullets for you. So great opportunity here to push a lot of value in kind of a short space. You'll also notice that you have a lot of characters available to you for, given what this is. So if you can max them out, but don't make things up for the sake of making them up. I actually think the little bite-size, segments of content could work to your value, or to your benefit, excuse me. I just read the word value when I said it. So when you're building out structured snippets, be as expansive as possible. Don't make things up for the sake of making them up. Remember, and this is true for all extensions, if you select mobile here in the advanced options, that doesn't mean that it's only going to show on mobile. It means that it's going to prioritize mobile. Interestingly, it looks like Google's prioritizing structured snippets for mobile anyway. It feels like in their documentation, and then also some of just casual observations, you're going to get more structured snippets in mobile results than you're going to get in desktop results potentially. But then I actually really kind of like this pro tip from Google, which is have multiple sets of structured snippets, because Google's going to want to choose not only the snippets that it displays, but also the sets of snippets that it chooses to use based off of the intent, that specific user, what Google thinks is going to appeal to them, and then. This is, kind of the overarching theme, but structured snippets are going to provide groups of products or services that your business provides. So you want to highlight these specific aspects in a way that allows you to kind of bullet point your list. What else did I want to show you? I'll include a link to both of these articles in the description of this video. But building structured snippets, again, it's pretty straightforward. It makes sense once you understand what it is that Google is doing, and once it makes sense to you. With extensions, because they play so heavily in ad rank, I would build as many extensions as possible and as many sets of extensions as possible, because it's it doesn't just increase your the efficacy of your ad when somebody's landed. It actually improves the likelihood that your ad shows in the first place. So extensions are going to factor very heavily into ad rank and quality score, which are actually two different data points. Ad rank is what dictates where you're going to rank, and quality score is the closest that you're going to get to Google showing you what your ad rank actually is. So build out your extensions aggressively. Structured snippets, once you see how they work, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sort of at a loss as to what else to tell you. It's got multilingual opportunities here, obviously, but really the big thing is choose the correct header and then be descriptive in your snippets. And that's all I got. I won't belabor this topic at all. I hope this was really helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit me in the comments. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe so you can see tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll talk to you there.